The 3 types of giving in the place of God, in the tabernacle. I find this really interesting. There is mentions of could. Everyone who could. Everyone who possessed. And skill. And it almost reads to me like there are 3 different types of giving, actually. I'm reading here from Exodus chapter 35 and reading from verses 23 to 26. And I believe that we as a church can often feel like it's just about the finances. And I'm not entirely sure if it is. My own personal opinion is that they are, maybe that there are 3 different types here that all correlate into the one pie. And so I'll just read you from 23 onwards. And everyone who, verse 24, everyone who could make a contribution of silver or bronze brought it as the Lord's contribution. Everyone who could make a contribution of silver or bronze brought it as the Lord's contribution. Just noticing who could. Maybe not everybody can. I don't think everybody can actually. Maybe financially give. Everyone who could make a contribution of silver. And everyone who possessed acacia wood of any use in the work brought it. Everyone who possessed. Having something that's of use. Having something that is useful to the church, to your local church. Do you have something that is useful, an item that is useful, that would be in need? And every skillful woman spun with her hands, and they all brought what they had spun in blue and purple and scarlet yarns and fine twined linen. And all the women whose hearts stirred them to use their skill spun the goat's hair. So here we see 3 different mentions of everyone who could bring the silver, anyone who possessed acacia wood for need, and every skillful woman spun with her hands. It also says in verse 10, let every skillful craftsman among you come and make all that the Lord has commanded. I'm seeing here there is something wonderful about your skill. What are you good at? What are you actually good at? And how can you use that in the body of Christ that you're in? Because we all have different skills. We're not the same. Yes, there might be clusters of groups, but there will also be singular people, singular positions, singular ways of craft or skill that can be used in the body. If you're good at cutting grass, your church may have grass that needs cut. If you're good at washing dishes, your church may need some dishes washed. If you have any skill with a hoover or a mop, it's not all about the teaching at the front or being, superly spiritually charged in a particular gift. These are wonderful. But what about the actual craftsman? What about the craft? What about the skill? And everyone who possessed, do you possess the ability? Do you possess the acacia wood that's needed? Do you possess something that your local church actually could do with? Or could you make a contribution of silver? Myself personally, I like to bake. And yes, I do believe that I'm half decent at it. In fact, I think that God has given me a wonderful a wonderful skill that I have practiced, because it's not just the ability, it's not just the spark that makes a fire. There's got to be what? Oh, sorry, I'm just hearing this. There's got to be a spark, but there's also got to be wood. And I'm speaking from a room that has let a fire go out because she's not very good at maintaining the wood supply. Anyway, you've got to have a spark of a skill, but then you've actually got to apply the wood to it. And what is the wood in your life? The wood is your time, your energy, maybe even your resources. How can you skillfully develop what God has put inside you? From a young age, I've loved cake with a passion. Who doesn't love cake, right? And so I always wanted to bake cake. Why? To eat it, of course. And so, yeah, I started to teach myself how to bake, and started to perfect that. I'm gonna just see if I can actually get you some pictures on my iPad. Video. And I'll show you some little ones that I've baked recently. But yeah, the point is, you need to. Oh, that's not going to work actually. You need to practice. You need to practice what God has given you a spark of. Let's see if we can do it real quick. Let's see if I can show you some. This was just this weekend that I just made some of these. This is a small selection. There was like 9 cakes. But yeah, I like to bake. For my church, for my local church, for the place that I call my spiritual home, I like to bake. Why? Because I'm good at it. Because I'm able to bless God's children, God's family. I am able to bless them with something that God has given me. So my question is, what are you good at? And how can you bring that to God's table? How can you bring that to God's house? Just show you some more. Same picture. There's so many ways that you can give in God's place. Give to God. Do something for God. So that would be my question as well. Are you in a position that you can give silver, finances? Great. Do it. Are you in a position that you have possessions that would actually be useful for your church? Brilliant. Bring them. Bring them. Are you skilled in any way that you could actually use that skill in your local church? These are all the things that we need to consider. Which category do we fall under? Which one do we fall into? And how can we use that for the glory of God? How can you bring you to God's table? That's a really good, there's a good challenge there for all of us. What can you do? What are you good at? What can you bring? What can you contribute? Food for thought. So if you have any suggestions, or you feel God is maybe provoking something, leave a comment below. I'd love to read your comments. Like, subscribe the video, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, Look, God bless. God bless you. God bless what you have to give. May God enrich you to give more of what you have to give, because you have a uniqueness that only you can bring. Only you can bring. Come on. Come on, body of God. Come on, church. So, yes. Verse 21. And they came, everyone whose heart stirred him, and everyone whose spirit moved him, and brought the Lord's contribution to be used for the tent of the meeting, and for all its service, and for the holy garments. There you go. So whether it's the place, the building, whether it's for the service, or whether it is for the day-to-day function, there is so much opportunity for you to give. So yeah, I'll leave that with you. God bless.